All right, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Good to see you. Good to see you. Big waves to you. I hope I don't have an echo. I'm actually traveling this morning, but coming to you. And I want to make an announcement, let everybody know tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have a special guest joining us. We'll have a flyer that we'll put up on that. Andrea, probably earlier today, sometime this morning. I can't see you. So if you're shaking your head, that's
I'm
great.
shaking my head. I'm going to share it real quick right here. If you give me just a second.
Good. So we got a special guest. So everybody share it around, invite. If you know anybody that is loves coaches, well, you're going to get to hear from one tomorrow. And I've done quite a bit with this gentleman. So a lot of you know him. So he'll be on tomorrow for the Coaches Corner. So excited about that. The word for today is trust. And I'm getting feedback on myself. If you go, man, Brent doesn't seem like he's all into it. It's I guess it's where I'm at this morning. But the definition is assured reliance on the character, ability, strength, or truth of someone or something. One in which confidence is placed. I think we could all probably look around and go, there's people in our life that we've trusted. There's people in our life that we've had relationships with that we didn't trust. There was just something about them that we didn't trust. And so this morning we're going to be talking about how do you as a human build trust when you're building relationships? And, you know, the first thing I thought about, I went back to coaching and being an educator. And, you know, kids read through a lot. I know Bill Saling was an educator for years. Kids read through either you're authentic or you're not authentic. You know, you're inauthentic. And I remember taking over programs and you know, my whole stance when I would take over those programs is I don't come in here and just have your trust. Trust is something I've got to build. And what was interesting is once I transitioned from education to what my profession is now with network marketing, I had a situation back almost a decade ago where I had to use that same philosophy. I had to travel the country and I had to look people in the eyes and say, you know, I don't have your trust right now, but over time I'll earn it. And I thought a lot about that when I was thinking about the word trust. But, you know, trust doesn't mean that we're perfect. Trust doesn't mean we don't mess up. What trust means is trust is just that feeling that people get when they're around you that they know, I think, that you've got their back. Like, it's not that you're perfect. It's not that you don't mess up. It's just that you're the type person that has people's back and they know. It's kind of like when everybody's running away from the fire, a person of trust is running to it, to protect, to save. And so some quotes that I wrote down this morning was, number one, trust is built in very small moments. You know, think about that. Think about your life. Think about those little things that a person does, or maybe you've done, that builds trust. Trust isn't about liking your team. You know, you don't have to like everything. It's about being able to count on your team, right? That's trust. Consistency is the true foundation of trust. Either keep your promises or don't make them, you know? And that, to me, Roy Bennett said that, and that's so true. But again, Andrea is going to kind of cover how to build trust. But one of the things that you know I go back to is trust means you have my back, right? I know I can count on you. They're friends that we've got in our life, people that we talk to. But then there's people that we confide in, you know, we tell secrets to, we trust them. So, you know, one of the things that I thought about when I thought about this word trust is, how many of you have worked in a profession before where you had possibly a boss that was always looking over people's shoulders, that was always critiquing, that was always, you just felt like you were uncomfortable in the work environment because you just didn't feel like it was yours, right? That's a lack of trust. But then we flip it and we go, how many of us worked in a work environment where we just felt like, man, I get there in the morning and this is my deal. You know, it's mine to make better. It's mine to screw up. But this person that's put me over this truly trusts me, right? I think that's where you see people buy in and they've got ownership and they really enjoy what they're doing. So that was just some of the things that come across to me on trust. But Andrea, I'm excited because here's the deal. We're constantly coming in contact with people. So to be able to look at the word trust and go, okay, what's some things that I need to do when I'm having these relationships with people to instill trust for them in me? So Andrea, I'll turn it to you.
Well, thank you, Coach. This was a fun one for me. I don't know if any of you can be a little skeptical. I know that I can be a little bit skeptical. And well, you know, what's funny is I fall one way or the other. I'm either ridiculously naive or incredibly skeptical, and there is no in between. But I loved kind of looking into how we can foster more trust in our relationships and what we can actively do, because it's, you know, I like things that are in my control. So what I love is I found something that said, to be trusted is a greater compliment than to be loved. And I think that's so true, because we might love people and want to be around them, but maybe don't quite trust them. So how do we move and create more trust? So first of all, and some of this is like so obvious, right? It's so obvious, but it's a great reminder, but be true to your word and follow through with your actions. And I think sometimes we only look at keeping the promises that we make, but sometimes it's even bigger than that, is don't make a promise to begin with that we know we won't be able to keep. And again, like I'm looking in the mirror here as a working to be a reformed people pleaser. Sometimes I say yes when I absolutely know at the core of me that I shouldn't, right? This is not something I should be doing. This is not something I can do. Like I cannot put this on my plate, but I don't want to say no. Like if John asks, I want to say yes, right? So I will say yes, but then I won't be able to follow through. And I just broke trust in a relationship that was important enough to me that I really wanted to say yes. So say no, like that no actually builds that trust. So follow through, keep your promises. 2, learn how to communicate effectively with others. And I listened to something this last week that I'm a little bit obsessed with. If you have talked to me in like the last 7 days, you've probably heard about this, because it was such a light bulb moment. We talk all the time with communication. Like, what do we talk about? We talk about listen, right? Listen effectively. Well, that's important. Like that's huge that we listen effectively. But in order to foster trust in a relationship, we also have to serve our words well. And that's how it was put: serve your words. So what does that mean? When I'm talking to someone, am I respecting them with my language? Am I using I statements? Am I removing criticism even when there's something negative, right? Like I want to change a behavior. Am I being like, am I criticizing them, or am I talking about the behavior? Am I sticking to the facts? Am I talking about always and never, right? All of those things can pull the trust out of that relationship and out of that conversation. So listen well, but also serve well. And then remind yourself that it takes time to build and earn trust. And Coach just talked about it. It's all those little tiny things that we can do every single day that are going to help foster that trust. So just know that you're going to do little things each day. And as that relationship grows, maybe it's with a boss and with your, your work responsibilities, or maybe it's with, a new friend. Just keep doing those little tiny things and be consistent with it and watch that trust grow. 4, take time to make your decisions and think before you act too quickly. And I think this goes back to keeping those promises. Sometimes we have to have that courage to absolutely say no, right? Sometimes we have to say no. And how do we know when? Well, we have to look at what's on our plate. Take that time to say, okay, here's my schedule, here are my responsibilities, and, look and see what you can bring in. So that pause can help us be more trustworthy, because we're not just saying yes, 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 all over the place. You got to give trust to get it, right? When building trust, it's vital to show our willingness to trust other people. So have those open conversations, right? They might be a little uncomfortable sometimes, but slow down and have more open conversations. Be authentic. Accept help. Anybody else have a really hard time accepting help? That can be a rough one. So accept help. And all of that lets people know that you're willing to give trust, so they'll feel more comfortable trusting you. Here's an obvious one. Be honest. Act with integrity in the little things, right? In the little things and the big things. Little tiny lies, big lies, they all do the same thing. Little breaches of integrity, big breaches of integrity. It all does the same thing. It erodes that trust. The next one is be a vault. And have any of you ever gone out to eat with a group of people and you're having a lovely time and you're really feeling like the inner circle because they're all talking about people that aren't at that table, right? So they're like, so-and-so is blah, 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 or da-da-da. And you're listening to this, and in that moment, it kind of feels good because you're like, oh, they're trusting me with this information. I feel so good to hear it. But then if you pause, you'll realize, ooh, I don't want to get up and go to the bathroom, because the minute I walk away, they're going to be talking about me, right? And so if we're a vault, when we're with people and they know that we're not sharing somebody else's secrets, big secrets, little secrets, but when you talk to Andrea, you know that I'm not going to be sitting here talking about Jane and sharing Jane's business. So then you know that you can trust me. And that one's kind of a slippery one, because it can feel really good to be part of that inner circle. But then when you kind of step away, it's like, oh, I don't think I can trust a single person at that table. Be consistent. So keep the rules, the rules. If we say that, I don't even know, I'm trying to think of a rule. I don't know, only, Will gets a sparkler and Brent gets a sparkler, but Cheryl doesn't get a sparkler at the whiteout party. That was really ridiculous, but I'm trying. Then they know they can't trust us, that the rules are the same for everyone. So keep the rules, the rules. Everybody kind of has the same rules, and just be consistent. And then lastly, and I know I'm talking along, but this is a good lesson for Andrea. Lastly, admit your mistakes. I can be a little bit of a perfectionist. My mentor has been trying to work on that for, 10 years now. I'm trying. And I hate when I make a mistake. Does anybody else absolutely hate? You're like, oh, I'm just going to go crawl in a hole. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to see it. And I definitely don't want to admit it. But when we pretend, because we all make mistakes, when we pretend that we don't make mistakes and we just kind of push those under the rug, well, then it makes us seem less trustworthy, because we're being less trustworthy. When we're authentic and we say, oh, I screwed up, then people know that they can relate to us and we are just like them. So thank you guys so much. This was a good lesson for me today. Hopefully it was a good one for you guys too.
Well, and that's the whole point of this thing, guys, is just, there's words that hit us different, and this was a great word. It always is, to go back. Chris Doyle put it in the comments. Trust is hard to get and easy to lose, and it's so true. So thank you guys for being on here. Look forward to you hearing from Coach Daryl Higgins tomorrow. He usually brings the fire, so it should be a good one. So have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you back tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
Love you
Thank you.
guys. Thanks, Coach.
Bye.
Yeah.